Hi, I'm Candy from Blossom Yoga and Wellness, located at 120 North Main Street in Concord, New Hampshire. I'm here today to welcome you and guide you through a yin practice to open your hips. So Yin Yoga is a passive practice where we hold poses traditionally for about 3 to 5 minutes. You can hold for less, and if it feels really great, you can stay for longer. So the holds that I'm going to do are going to be for about 2 to 3 minutes each, but I want you to really tune into your body and honor the sensations, what you're feeling, and practice according to that, okay? And so even starting with smaller amounts of time can be really good, and then over time maybe building up. So we'll start by centering and arriving on our mat in our practice. You can let your eyes close or soften your gaze downward. And begin to draw breath in through your nose, exhaling through your nose or your mouth. Lengthening up through your spine, letting shoulders soften down from the ears. And just bring your awareness toward your breath, following it in and letting it go out. Yoga is defined as the yoke or the union, and so I define that as the union of our entire selves, being here, our mind, our body. And so breath can be the bridge for that. It can be the open door for that connection of mind and body. And as the mind wanders and leaves the awareness of the breath, just notice that it's wandered and invite it back. And I'll guide you and remind you of that as we move through our practice. So taking a few more deep breaths. You could even bring the hands to the belly as you follow that breath in. Feel the expansion. And let the belly soften as the breath goes. When you're ready, we'll move into our first posture of our practice, which is butterfly pose. So we're gonna draw the soles of the feet together and in as close to the body as is comfortable. And as you notice, I have some props here. So at any time, you're welcome to use whatever you might have at home. You could have a blanket or pillows. I have yoga blocks, but you could use books or anything that would support your body. So feel free to gather those if you haven't yet. And so one of the things that you can do to prop yourself up here is if your knees are up really high and this is putting a stress on the hips or the inner thighs or wherever you might be feeling it, you could put some support under the thighs or the knees with some blocks or, again, other pillows or even a couple of books, whatever will allow you to bring the floor up a little higher to better support you. And also moving your feet away from the body a little bit might offer some comfort. So again, let your eyes close, draw the breath in through the nose. So those are the basic instructions that I'm going to continue to come back to. Breath in through the nose when comfortable, eyes close or the gaze softens. That allows us to continue to draw that attention inward, to begin to soften around the thoughts. And so as we move into our first yin pose, we want to find a comfortable edge. We don't want to come right up to it. We want to feel the pose. We want to feel a healthy stress. But we want it to be comfortable and soft enough that we can breathe deeply and we can relax the body around the experience. So here we're going to feel something in our inner thighs or our hip area. We'll take a big inhale, we'll straighten up and lengthen through the spine, and exhale, folding, again, finding that edge. And you could use, the bolster can be really nice to use here if you wanted to support the head a little bit, right? You could let the forehead kind of rest here. You could also have the bolster in front of you for the forearms to come onto. You can always prop up the bolster with blocks or something else to lift it. So once you find your comfortable edge, your expression, you could even let the chin come down to the chest. And as we're letting the hips and that area of the body open up, you could stretch the neck out a little bit here, bringing one ear toward a shoulder and then the other. We tend to hold a lot of tension in the neck and shoulder area. So this could be a nice exploration, or perhaps you know right where your tightness is and your sweet spot is, and you just go there and you hold. As I said, we typically hold these yin poses for about 3 to 5 minutes. Hold it for as long as is comfortable for you. We'll do about 2 minutes here, and if you want to hold longer, just pause, and when you're ready to come out of your pose, start us up again. Taking a few more deep breaths. Invite your awareness back to your breath. Slowly begin to rise up out of your pose on an inhalation. And in between our yin poses, we take about a minute or so for any rebound movement or stillness or stretch that your body's asking for. So I want you to just tune in here. What feels good for you? It could be lying down and just noticing the energy as you come out of the pose. It could be some counter movement or stretching. Take your time here. Again, I want you to go at your own pace. So if you need to pause ever, please do. Take your time. I'm going to begin the roadmap of moving us into our next pose, which is going to be, we're going to come onto hands and knees and then just tuck the toes and lift up, coming into a forward fold. This is the only standing pose in traditional yin practice. Keep the knees soft, feet are about hip width apart. We call it dangling in yin. Chin comes to the chest, the crown of the head reaches gently toward the floor, and you can swing here and move a little bit if you would like. We're going to hold this pose for just about a minute, and we're going to go between a squat and a fold, this dangling pose, a couple of times. Breath comes in through the nose, out through the nose or the mouth, eyes closed or the gaze softens. When you're ready, toe heel and just walk those feet a little further apart. Turn the toes out, heels point toward one another, and sink those hips down. If this is not comfortable in your body, you could come onto your back, and I'll give an example of that, and come into a happy baby pose. But if you feel like you can play around with this, but you need a little support, you could bring this block or anything, again, that lifts the floor up under the sits bones. The bolster could come under and help as well. Sometimes if your heels are really lifted, bringing the rolled up blanket to support the heels can be nice. So again, we're going to hold here for about a minute or so, and then we're going to cycle through one more time each of those. So let me just show you the happy baby pose, if sort of a reclining squat pose, if that might feel better for you. So you would come onto your back, and you would take a hold of either the ankles or the soles of the feet. The peace fingers around the big toes can be nice. And you just open up here. The knees point toward either side of the mat, and the soles of the feet point toward the sky. So reclining squat pose. It's not as smooth to float from that to a forward fold, but feel free to do it. So we'll come from this squat up into the forward fold on an inhale, exhale, folding forward, again dangling here, keeping knees soft. Notice where the weight is in the feet. We want the weight to be in the soles of the feet. So we're working toward not gripping with the toes. Breathing deeply. Big inhalations through the nose, exhaling through the nose or the mouth. You could have the hands on the mat or on blocks, or you could clasp opposite elbows. Chin to the chest, and really encourage that whole shoulder girdle to release here. Take a few more deep breaths and then move back into your expression for a squat. And if you feel comfortable and the feet are planted and things feel pretty good, you could draw those shoulders over the hips, bring the palms together, hands in toward heart center. Come back to your breath here. Let shoulders soften away from the ears. Let muscles in the face soften. And begin to draw awareness to where you feel resistance in the pose, where you feel any tightness or tension in your body. And let the breath release that. Let the breath wash through the tension and tightness. As the breath leaves on the exhalation, it takes with it any resistance, beginning to soften those areas of your body. When you're ready, we'll come on out and just come into a forward fold one more time as a counter. And then from here, we're going to come back down onto the mat. I'm going to just grab my props to have up here in case I need them as we come into dragon pose on each side. So I have my phone here to help me with time for holding the poses, but I highly recommend that you have yours elsewhere and turned off so that you can really be unplugged and present for your practice. So from here, we'll start in this tabletop expression on hands and knees, and we'll just draw this right foot up toward the front corner of the mat. And then you could, well, there are lots of options here, but you could begin to walk the foot off of your mat, really opening up wide into this pose. If you feel like your hamstrings are really tight and you want to spend some time with this straight leg folding this way, feel free. You could use the blocks to help support you, either hands on blocks or forearms. You could use the bolster. If the knee feels, a little sensitive to the hard surface, even with a mat, you could put a blanket there. So if the hamstring feels okay and you can come into this dragon pose, we would keep the right knee bent. It's over that right ankle or a little behind, and we would begin to come down here. Again, using blocks, bolster, blanket, anything that feels supportive that can bring you into a comfortable expression. Your expression, right? Everybody feels this differently. So this is why we really bring attention inward, noticing how we're feeling, breathing deeply and holding towards stillness for about 2 to 3 minutes. Taking a few deep breaths, inviting awareness back toward your pose, toward the sensations in your body, and slowly, with the breath, moving out of the pose. Again, taking a minute or so for any rebound, stretch, or movement, or stillness that your body's asking for. Just tune in. Don't even really think about it. Just follow the guidance and wisdom of your body. Taking your time here to move into that pose on the other side. So left foot comes forward. Take your time to set yourself up for comfort and support. It's one of the things I love about a yin practice is there's plenty of time. And it might feel and look different on this side than it did on the right side. So it's a fresh exploration, observing how things are feeling and moving into your expression according to the messages your body is sending. So again, we talked about tight hamstring. You could always straighten the leg, holding there for a minute or two or even longer. And then eventually maybe that knee bends, it comes over the left ankle or a little behind. Left foot can walk right out off the mat. Chin comes to the chest. We let the face and the neck and the shoulders soften. And we breathe deeply. Letting the breath expand and fill the lungs completely from bottom to top. And breath comes out from top to bottom. Taking a few more deep breaths, bringing awareness back into the body, back toward the breath. Take your time coming out of the pose. Move slowly as the breath guides you out into any counter movement or stretch or stillness that is being asked for. Again, following the guidance and wisdom of your body. Take your time here. Pause if you want to pause the video. But I'll begin to guide us into our final pose for Shavasana, which traditionally is corpse pose, right? We lie down on our back using any support through the bolster or the blocks or the blanket that you might want to use. So a nice way to rest in Shavasana could be to make a little ramp here for the bolster for your legs to rest on while you lie down. You could also use the bolster behind you, which is what I'll guide here. So knees are bent, feet are planted, and we just bring ourselves right up to the edge of the bolster, letting ourselves lie down, maybe moving the head side to side as we release the neck and the shoulders. Knees could stay bent, or if it's comfortable, you could straighten legs, heels toward the corners of the mat. And another option, the more traditional pose, is to just lie flat on the mat, on your back, letting your eyes close or the gaze soften, drawing breath in through your nose, letting breath fully exit the body. And beginning to invite a deep sense of relaxation into your physical body, letting the muscles in the face soften, the area between the eyebrows, the jaw, as if your face is just melting, sinking into the support that the back of the head has here. And invite that relaxation, that sense of melting to move down through your entire body, down through the neck, the torso, into the arms and the hands, through the hips, into the legs and the feet. Letting go of all effort in the physical body, letting go of all effort in the breath, and letting the thoughts just run free. Let go of any effort there, any attempt to control. Letting yourself just be, absorbing all of the healing benefits of your yin practice. Staying in Shavasana for as long as you would like. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you again next time. Namaste.